Okay, this is my third time attempting to record this. I apologize for the not so pretty background, but I've tried in 3 different locations, and every single time there's something and someone making unfathomable amounts of noise, which has very much irritated me, so I'm not in the best of moods. So today's video is probably going to be a short one, but moving on. Hi guys, welcome back to another podcast in cars. I'm Zach. Hi, hello. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the car community here in South Africa and basically stuff and things about the community and stuff here, and things that I found out and stuff. So, past couple of times that I've attempted to record this, I've also just babbled on a bit. So I've tried to structure a little bit this time. So, first thing I wanted to discuss is the variety or the build variety in the country. So that's a very weird topic, actually, and rather funny. I've discussed this with a couple of my friends here and overseas about it because we all find it very entertaining. You get like 2 kinds of builds here. You get the guys that have the they've spent all of their time and money on like wiring up and like trying to make the prettiest and best sound system for their car, like with a big bass and blah blah blah. And then they're maybe on like a set of rims and maybe some lowering springs or cut springs, to be honest with you. That's their build, inverted commas. Or alternatively, you get the guys that are like, they're just fixated with horsepower, and then they have the 1,000 to 1,200 to 1,500 horsepower builds, and they're absolute monsters and barely able to drive in the street anymore. But you know, that's just how these guys roll. Those are like the build variety. There's a minute, very small little middle ground there in the middle. That's where people like myself with a little 200 horsepower turbo Miata fit in. Yeah, no, there's like very few people with like mid-spec builds. It's actually rather entertaining. Myself and my small group always have a good laugh at it because it's like when you pull up next to somebody at a set of lights or stuff, and I'm going to just use it as an example. Their Mark 1 Golf is busy sitting there with a loud-ass exhaust. You question to yourself, have they gotten a cheap-ass exhaust system? Or have they just drilled, like, holes in their mufflers and shit so that their car sounds a bit louder? Or am I about to go up against, like, a 4 billion horsepower Mark 1 Golf? Because those are the only 2 options. That's it. There's like no middle ground. It's not going to be like a Mark 1 Golf that's just a little bit spruced up, you know? No. It's either it's got 12 million horsepower or it's stock AF, but holes in the exhaust. That's just how it works in this country. So yeah, we find that exceptionally entertaining here in the country. Look, there is a middle ground, obviously, and it's probably a lot larger than I'm giving it credit. For example, I'm sure the more modern Golfs and stuff, I do know that they have like their stage 1 bolt-on kits. I don't understand the staging thing, by the way, just for BMs, any of the German cars, because they all use that stage 1 or stage 2. I don't understand what that means. I'm going to be 100% straight with you. I don't understand what that means. If you know, please let me know down in the comments. But I have no idea what that means. But anyway, yes, moving on. So they have like their bolt-on turbo kits, or like upgraded turbos, or slightly larger turbos, or slightly larger intercoolers, or whatever. And they make a fair chunk more horsepower than stock. So I mean, they're technically in that class and stuff. But my meaning is, a lot of these guys are out here with like Corsa Buckies or VW Corsas, Vauxhall Corsas, sorry, Vauxhall Corsas, or I don't even know what else. Oh, the Nissan 1400 Bucky, or Mini Pickup, or Nissan Champ, I think they also called it overseas. There's always those, and they're also like, always, is it stock and just like clapped, or is it like a 12 million horsepower one that's got like a big ass swap in it, and so on and so forth. Yeah. There's a lot of guys that I've noticed that also just like V8 swap cars. They put the UZ, the Lexus Toyota V8s. They swap those into like everything, but into cars that really shouldn't have it. Again, like the little Nissan 1400 buckies. They just wheel spin. That is all that those cars can do. There's no grip. That all of that extra horsepower they've got now from their V8, even if they've supercharged it or not, all the horsepower literally goes nowhere because that car just spins. And they'll have semis on the back or even full drag slicks. They spin because there's no weight over the back. So I find that very funny. The mid-build range in this country is odd also though, because like the mid-builds are like 500 horsepower, like fully forged. Almost. So yeah, that's if you come here, if you decide to come and live in South Africa or something, and you decide to like set up your car, and you've got a little bit of like a boosted Miata, boosted 206, boosted Golf, boosted BM or something like that, trying to be all inclusive here. Sorry, I'm more swayed to the JDM side because that's the community that I'm used to. But just be prepared. If you come here, just be prepared that you're either going to be absolutely destroyed by whatever you're racing, or even if you had like 5 horsepower, you'd probably gap them. It's fine. This country is entertaining. In terms of other parts of the community, one of the other pieces that I had in the previous attempts of filming this was speaking about the import laws, because obviously that's a very big thing overseas, but here we haven't got many restrictions. Or I say we haven't got many restrictions. We haven't got many... How do I explain myself? We didn't miss out on a lot. We do have the odd 1 or 2 cars that we never got into the country, obviously. It's mainly like homologation cars, so very rare number cars. So, we didn't, but I'm meaning more so like they only made 500 units worldwide for like the whole world. We never got. We did get lucky with like having 500 NA Miatas, I believe, were brought into the country. Somebody did some research and posted on one of the groups. Now obviously that's a plus minus figure because I'm sure some people have imported since then, so on and so forth. It's a back and forth story. But as a general rule of thumb, our import laws here are actually quite friendly. You can import pretty much whatever you want. Sorry, I keep looking at the front windscreen. I should try to readjust myself so I can check out the camera and actually speak to you guys. So the import laws here are reasonably friendly. So we missed out on things like the Mitsubishi Eclipse and blah blah blah, but generally speaking, if for those who don't know, we actually had the same rules as the 25-year rule in the States. If the car is over 25 years old, you can legally import it. Yes, I was just double checking, was it 25 or 30? I think it's 25. It's the same as the States. So as long as the car is like past that age, you can. And then even on top of that, even if it's not past that age, if the car is deemed a collector or valuable car of some form, you're allowed to import it. For example, R34 GTRs, I believe that we can import them now if we want. FDRX7s are the same. Mark IV Supras are an interesting one. So you used to be able to import Mark IV Supras. However, at the time, you could import a Mark IV Supra or just buy a Mark IV Supra locally for about like, depending on condition, from anywhere from like 200,000 to 500,000, condition and modified or not or blah blah blah. But yes, anyway, moving on. Now this was plus minus roughly at the same time when Toyota was just about to bring in the new GT86. So I don't know if Toyota actually approached the government or what kind of happened, but basically a new law was passed that you can no longer import a Mark IV Supra, because the pricing was basically the same pricing as in 86. It's a Toyota, so it would have still been completely reliable and fine. And then on top of that, it's so same price, almost double the horsepower from factory than an 86. Well, not double the horsepower, but a little bit more than what an 86 came out from factories, what a stock 2J made. And like, yeah, you could get a Mark IV Supra for almost the same price. And Toyota actually saw competition in this, so they decided to do some dodgy shit. But yeah, unfortunately, things like the S15 also weren't import legal because for some reason the government decided that that's not a collector's car or classic car of some form. But again, the 25-year rule, so that's coming up very soon. We'll be able to get more R34 GTRs and S15s. Again, though, we can already get R34s. As far as I'm aware, somebody please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. On the German stand of that, I don't know the German cars that would plus minus be legal to import now on what would be nice cars to import, or I should say European, not German, because British cars obviously also included there. So I can't really comment on that front, but yeah, the import laws past that. Yeah, our laws are pretty friendly in terms of like it doesn't have to meet any emission standards, I think, or at least it doesn't have to, as long as it had the safety equipment and the stock exhaust that it came out with, it's fine. Like, it doesn't have to meet a particular requirement now, whatever. I'm not too familiar with that whole front, so I'm gonna kind of just try move past that because yeah, I'm not 100% familiar. What else is kind of happening in the community that I find very fun? Car meets are, I suppose, a part of the whole situation. So car meets, okay, I'll get into how friendly the car community is in a moment, but car meets are a 50-50 shot. You've either got the groups that are very, very chill, and it's you pitch up, you pop the hood, everyone looks and admires, you go get dinner or whatever, and then you bounce, and that's all cool and hunky-dory. Or you get the like full-on takeovers, the guys are drifting and doing burnouts in the middle of the parking lot, or they're racing up and down the roads, or they're trying to see if they can do the point-to-point, who's the fastest to do the point-to-point race, when it's not actually a race at all. It's supposed to just be a cruise, like a chill cruise. So that's kind of your variety of the car scene here, in terms of meets. It's very much a 50-50 shot, and I'm more of the swayed of, just chill, pop the hood, sitting there chatting about the car, learning more about other people's cars there in the community and so on and so forth. Because the other stuff is dodge and illegal, and I don't like to involve myself with that. Also, I have been to one of those. That was the first time that I went to one purposely, let me put it that way. And in the span of 5 minutes that I was there, I almost had 5 accidents because people were racing up and down the lanes, and trying to drift corners and stuff, but they weren't just watching like what happens with pedestrians or other traffic. And yeah, they people like almost hit me multiple times. So I don't like those meets. Also, to be honest with you, it starts to become a little bit like disrespectful and annoying and irritating. It's like, just chill, dude. You don't have to go ham. Okay, you don't have to shoot flames in the underground parking lot. People understand your car can shoot flames. It's great. I don't mind. Okay, so this is a completely different topic that I think I have mentioned in previous videos as well. I don't mind if you leave the meet and you like put your foot down a little bit. That's cool, 100%. But don't, whilst you're going up and down the lanes to find your parking, sit there and be like, wah, bah, 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 2-step, the whole shebang. It's not fun, it's not nice, it's just loud and irritating and annoying for everybody. Please stop. Yeah. Um. Was there anything else that I really wanted to talk in regards to that? Well, another part of the community, I suppose you could say, is like the racing community. So the guys that go to the track and like do track day kind of stuff. I've not really been to many track days. I can't really comment in terms of physical, actual like race tracks. I've been to a couple of like autocross events, and generally speaking, the autocross event community is absolutely fantastic. I love the autocross community. They're all super chill guys, and they're all very friendly and helpful and willing to give advice and so on and so forth. Same with like the casual drifting guys. They're also generally speaking like super chill. Not there's it there okay, so this is something if you're looking at the community from outside perspective, there's a difference between spinning and drifting. Spinning is you dump the clutch and mash the throttle and just let the car do its own thing and spin wildly out of control, but in a controlled environment, if that makes sense. Whilst drifting, you're actually trying to make a solid line, if that makes sense. Spinning is kind of just the car's vipping and doing its own thing. It's very weird, and I've once had somebody ask me if I do spinning in my Miata, and I'm just like, no, I do not. That is, I'm higher class, thank you. It's no offense to anybody who does the spinning stuff, but not for me. Thank you very much. So yeah, the autocross community / drifting community as well are generally speaking really friendly and pretty nice. I haven't met too many people in the drifting community, so I can't really comment, but yeah. In terms of full on track days, you get the guys that are a bit grumpy because they take it like fully seriously. But I suppose, you know, if it's your track day and stuff and you're trying to get in the mindset, be focused so you can race. You don't want younger lads running up to you and be like, oh sir, what horsepower does your Porsche make that you're racing? What kind of lap times can you get? I can imagine that that's going to be very annoying, yes. So yeah. Is there anything else that I wanted to mention? Or can I end the video here? I'm sure everyone's already very irritated by the sound of my voice, so maybe I should just end the video here. As an overall, you know, the community here is actually really nice. Again, it depends on the field that you get involved in. For example, I've been to a couple of those takeover style meets, not actually on purpose. I joined the one on purpose because I wasn't aware that it was that kind of meet. And then the other ones, I thought they were different meets, so I went to go join them, and then it lands up that they weren't the meets that I thought they were at all. They were takeover meets. So yeah, I land up, or I used to accidentally just land up joining them a lot. A lot. It's like a once a year event, but anyway, moving on. And that part of the community is a bit meh. Like, I've found that if you're not making quadruple number horsepower figures, they're like just not interested in your car whatsoever. Like, people just do not give a fuck. In terms of the community that I try involve myself in, so the casual guys that, you know, little night meets, pop the hood, just check out the car, so on and so forth. There's no racing or trying to show off involved, basically. It's just talking and being casual and being friendly and enjoying cars. That side of the community has, generally speaking, been very, very friendly towards me or other newcomers as well. It's generally speaking like just people who are solid, just interested in cars and what you're wanting to do with yours. Sorry, I keep getting distracted looking at the one screen. So yeah, that part of the community is that's kind of why I prefer to involve myself that side, because just people are friendlier. Just don't be a dick. I will say there are the odd few exceptions. I know some guys feel very how do I describe it? They feel very competitive with each other on that behalf as well. Like they want to, for example, on the MX-5 side, I can speak a little. there's a little bit of competition in terms of like, oh, this guy's got a turbo Miata, okay, time to turbocharge my Miata so that I can like be a little bit cooler. Or there's just bias in terms of like one person in the community is a little bit more well known, so their car ends up being featured in multiple things and so on and so forth. But to be honest with you, if you're kind of just joining it to be casual like me, and you're kind of just there to enjoy your own car and then go look at other people's cars, and if they're friendly, they're friendly. If they're not friendly, well then okay, you still have a nice car, so I'm gonna go have a look at it if you don't mind. Sorry. That whole part of it, if you're willing to look at that side of the community, then there's like no issues whatsoever. Which, generally speaking, the groups that I join are all pretty much like that. It's like, it's people who are not necessarily interested in being competitive. You know, if we joined up at a autocross or a hill climb kind of event, yeah, sure, we'll see who's got the fastest turbo Miata. But for as a good example is actually myself and Callum. When we go to autocross and stuff, I'm jealous of Callum, inverted commas, because he's a much better driver than me, and his car's also very well done up, and he does things properly, basically, in short. And I know he built my car as well, but you know, he knows how to drive and he gets things done, and he's got like slicks on his car and he can afford to do all that kind of stuff. Also, I'm still kind of new to the community and I haven't got the money to do that kind of stuff, so I'm a lot slower than him and stuff, but I use that more as inspiration, I want to say, than actually feeling competitive. Yes, I would obviously like to be as competitive as he is and place good times and so on and so forth, but I don't ever feel pressured that I need to be like on the same kind of level. I feel crap sometimes when I place in like last place. That's a whole different story. So yeah, as a general rule of thumb, like, everyone, you know what, past that, there's obviously like friendly competition as well. For example, the Suzuki Swift Sport Club at autocross events, they're also the Suzuki Swift Sports are also exceptionally good at autocross. Same like MX5s, because short wheelbase and just quick turn in and short throw gears and so on and so forth. Bless you. Because of like that kind of setup, they tend to be pretty good for autocross. So, sorry, my next stuff. I want to say there's friendly banter, friendly competition there, where the guys like will roast each other, and it's like, no, come on, pick up. I want to see you beat my little MX5 here, you know. That kind of stuff I also have no issue with, as long as it doesn't become that it's harmful to you, I want to say, mentally. Where it starts degrading you and you feel like, oh no, you know, I'm a shit driver because I can't keep up or I can't do this or whatever. Or alternatively, that you're kind of good and then you start like trashing on others or others' builds even or something like that. As long as it doesn't go down that route, it's fine. So yeah, I think that's actually it for the car community. Generally speaking, people are friendly. Generally speaking, the community is actually really fun and really nice. I will also note, sorry, there is a very big Jap versus German in this country. Like, it's one or the other. Like, you got to be, I don't want to say you have to be on one or the other side, but I know a lot of the German guys aren't necessarily the biggest fans of the JDM stuff, and they tend to shit on builds and so on and so forth. But with that being said, I know people within the JDM community who do the same with the Eurocars, so I can't mock or knock or sorry, I can't really comment, because it's like, it's not, that's just people being toxic in the car community, which has been a previous video topic, I believe, as well. So yeah, there's a little bit of competition there, but generally speaking, I mean, there's a guy just down the road who does like steam cleaning and stuff. I've made a video on that on my channel before, and he's got like a little bit of a tuned up TDI Polo Golf, I think it's Polo. And I'm not very familiar with the German cars or the Euro cars in general, so I know very little about the car, and he knows not too much about the JDM stuff either, but like, there's no issues, we'll get on. He invited me to a meet last week, I believe, Unfortunately, I can go, but yeah, I mean, that's generally speaking the kind of community that you'll end up meeting. It's just a whole bunch of friendly lads. Just a bunch of lads just want to talk cars for like an hour or two or 13, who knows, but yes. Anyway, I have rabbled on for long enough. I'm sure most of you are bored at this point, if you've even gotten this far into the video. If you have, a very big thank you to you for watching this far. You can all give yourselves a pat on the back and a round of applause. I appreciate you much for the grand scheme of things. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. I have no idea what I'm filming for Friday, because it was supposed to be my launch control. I was going to set up my launch control, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So, yeah. I guess I'll find out. I think I might go for a photo shoot with the Midnight Purple 200SX and maybe a couple other guys. I don't know. I'll invite a whole bunch of guys and we'll see. So yeah, until then guys, I hope to see you in the next video, wherever it may be, and yeah, cheers.